Ladies and gentlemen, Geri Petito.
I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
When you don't know just what to do,
Just what to do, just what to do.
if what you're feeling is really true,
Is it really true? Is it really true?
just keep your ideas safe and sound.
Safe and sound, safe and sound.
That's exactly how change is found.
Change is found, change is found. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Geri Petito Show. Everyone and anyone who knows me knows I am the author of I'm Not an Addict, I'm Just an Ass. I'd rather be a smartass than a dumbass. Because, guys, over 33 years ago, I was a dumbass. But today, over 33 years later, through the grace of God, I can honestly say now I'm a smartass. Yes, the word ass is in the Bible at least 40 times, and it means donkey, and that's what I was. I'm saying all that to say this. You know, guys, there's so many people out there struggling with health issues, with addiction, recovery, right? The family members. We've lost a lot, and I personally also have lost family and friends. And I just want to let everybody out there know someone is listening. I'm a recovery coach. I'm a nutritional health coach. All my services to you are free. Please, please reach out to me, okay? I want you to know that I'm here for you, okay? If you think my book can help someone, because I do, you can go right to Simon & Schuster's bookstore, Archway Publishing, BAM, Amazon, Barnes & Noble. You can go to my website, www.geripetito.com. And if you truly, truly, truly cannot afford my book, please, please reach out to me about that as well. I'm here to help you. So I want to give a shout out to some of my sponsors before I introduce my incredible guest. Okay. So, everybody, one of my newest sponsors, Stormin Norman Selden, okay? You can reach him at 732-245-4777, www.storminnormanselden.com. He's booking dozens of attractions for concerts and performances on venues of all sizes, guys. He's got a band from 5 to 12 pieces as needed. Off the charts, we're talking a legend, okay? And you know, a lot of people don't know this because I didn't know this, okay? He also helped start Larry Chance. Imagine that. Yes, he did. So, shout out to Stormin Norman. Then, my newest sponsor, Ken Ryan and Linda Garofalo. The Way It Used to Be. The 50s through the 80s, they do tributes to the greatest music and voices of all time. Okay? They make so many people smile. They're amazing. And I want to share something with you. He also does a lot of Elvis for me. So I want to say thank you for that. And they do so many fundraisers, guys. And they don't make a penny on it. So they're beautiful people, two beautiful souls. So Ken and Linda, I love you both. The Way It Used to Be, guys. Okay. John Bishop, a.k.a. Johnny B., singer-songwriter, host of the Entertainment Luncheon South, a nonprofit network created for the creative. Facebook group page, Entertainment Luncheon South. Partner in the Joey D and Johnny B Rockin' Oldies Band. And, you know, you can find them on Facebook as well. And let me tell you something about them. They do this luncheon once a month, nonprofit. They do not make a penny. And it's by invite only. And they bring in incredible entertainers and a lot of legends that have actually flown in just to be at this luncheon. So I want to say thank you. Johnny B promotes all of us, okay? So we love you, Johnny B. Okay, here we go. John Monforto, the man of many faces, singer, actor, celebrity impersonator, and tribute artist, okay? I actually gave him the name the man of many faces, and he was given the title by a former Philadelphia mayor as the official Philadelphia Rocky impersonator. The guy is off the charts. He does about 30 different characters, and of course my favorites are Rocky, The Godfather, and Elvis, baby. www.johnmonforto.com. Then we have Michael Zanman, singer, entertainer, performer. www.mzanman.com. The guy is awesome. He is so much fun. He cracks everybody up, and he's awesome. When he entertains, he will have you cracking up, loving it, and laughing. Okay? And last but certainly not least, Michael D'Amore, singer, songwriter, performer, entertainer. www.michaeldamore.com. And guys, you could purchase his songs that he's sung even with his little girl. Okay? He is off the charts. Everybody here that knows Michael D'Amore knows what a freaking voice he has. All right, Michael D'Amore. And I had the privilege of emceeing the Friday night at Let East for Zanman and D'Amore. Zanman opened up for Michael D'Amore, and we're going to be doing the same in 2024 at Let East, guys. So come on out. Okay? So now that I mentioned all my sponsors, I want to introduce to you my legendary guests. You know, guys, I always say that I bring it, right? I've interviewed him before, and we are bringing it again, baby. So everybody, Mr. Norman Fox. Say hello, Norman.
Hi, Jerry. It's great to be with you again.
Oh my gosh. You know, this time it's a little more bittersweet. You know, we've lost friends of ours. You know, Alex Augustine, who sang with you in the Rob Roys, Larry
Yeah.
Chance. And I was so honored this year that I got to hug you finally. Okay? You know, I mean,
It was my honor. You know, I love hugging you too.
oh my gosh, Norm. Um, oh my gosh. So they did an amazing, amazing tribute for Alex at Goodfellas, and that's where I finally got to meet you and hug you, and it was beautiful. And when you said to me, Jerry, let's do another interview, forget it. I almost fell off the chair. Okay. So first and foremost, I want to say thank you for honoring me again today. I want to say rest in peace to our buddy Alex. Rest in peace, of course, to Larry Chance. We love you both. So, Norm, why don't you start? Well, you know what? No, don't start yet. Guys, let's play the first one. Let's play the first one. We're gonna play something special.
Hello, everybody. This is Alex Augustine of the Alex Augustine's Rock and Roll Rhythm and Blues Show, and you're listening to Geri Petito and my friend Norman Fox. Hi, Norman. Hope everything is well. I had a pleasure working with you from 1989 to 1995. Radio City, Westbury, it was a blast. Take care, my friend, and be well.
Oh, mwah, we love you, Alex.
Yeah, Alex was the greatest. Nobody loved the music more than Alex. He was involved in it in every way possible. He just loved the original rock and roll music, and he was a great perpetrator of it. His radio shows and all of the things that he started just increase the whole tempo and the whole area of our music, so that a lot of people can hear it and become familiar with it. Those youngsters who are not familiar with it, but this is the real stuff.
This is the real stuff. I want to share something with you before I talk about Alex. I've interviewed up and coming indie artists as young as 8, 9, 10, then in the teens, then in their 20s. And I've asked them all the same question, what they thought of the oldies, and they all pretty much said in their own words, if it wasn't for this music, they wouldn't be doing what they're doing. So it did start with you guys, and I want to thank you all for that. Alex and his wife Ann moved to Allentown, New Jersey, which is 10 minutes from me. I'm from Robbinsville. I couldn't believe it, so I became like family with them. And, you know, to this day, I love you, Ann. I know you're going to be watching this, and I love your family. And, of course, you know how much I loved Alex. Alex was amazing. What a beautiful man. And you're right, Norman. No one loved the music more than him. He brought me in his studio, and I showed me all his, I'm like, this is amazing. So there you go. Little tribute to Alex. We love you.
We sure do.
So now, tell everyone a little bit about you before we play a first song. A little bit about your background.
Well, I started in singing rock and roll music in high school and emulating the great groups of the time, um, Herb Cox and the Cleftones, and all of those wonderful groups, the Cadillacs, the Eldorados, all of those groups that I heard on the radio first on Alan Freed's show, his radio show, and then saw when he took his people to the Brooklyn Paramount Theater and they had those wonderful shows. And it actually, I think that those shows in a lot of ways changed history because we were founding a new type of music, and I wanted to emulate that sound. And I got together in high school with a group of guys, three guys from my neighborhood and two guys from Harlem, and they were the backbone of the Rob Roys. And it was just a wonderful, wonderful experience. Without knowing anything, we became probably the first or one of the first interracial groups in the United States. Of course, we didn't even think about it. We were only thinking about the sound. The only thing that we wanted to do was to emulate the sound of the people that we loved and the songs and the music that we loved. So that was the only thing that was important to us, and so we did. The Rob Roys rounded out that sound, and it was great. It was just a wonderful, wonderful experience. And from high school, we made our first record, which was "Tell Me Why," which we made for Backbeat Records. So we made two sides for them: "Tell Me Why" and "Dance Girl Dance." And that's how we got started.
So, I always ask, like, my legendary performers this question. Did you ever sing on the street corners?
Oh, of course.
I know. Talk about it.
Everybody's sang on,
Come on.
everybody's sang on the street corners. I was a Bronx kid. I was originally from Parkchester in the East Bronx, and then moved to the West Bronx to the Riverdale section. We had a whole semblance of people that used to congregate at a place called the Monument. It was at the corner of Riverdale Avenue and I think 138th Street, if I'm not mistaken. And there were tons of kids, just overflowing with kids. And of course, the Rob Roys would get up there, and we weren't the Rob Roys at that time. We were the Velvetones. And that was before we got our record contract. And when we got our record contract, they said that they wanted us to change the name because there were too many tones groups around.
Oh.
The clef tones, the harp tones,
Okay.
all the tone groups. So I didn't know where to go and come up with a name, but I remembered there was a drink called a Rob Roy.
My producers were just saying that today. I said, I never heard of it.
And it's scotch and vermouth and bitters. And not that I knew what the hell it was made of, but that's what it was. And I thought that the name really sounded cool and sexy. When I submitted it to the record company, they loved it. And that's how the Rob Roys came to be.
So how old were you?
I was probably 17 and a half at that time.
Okay, so 17 years old, and that's when it really started for the Rob Roys.
Correct.
All right, so now you said everybody sang on the street corners. No, not everybody. So you'd be surprised how many didn't get an opportunity to do that, okay?
Right.
Because of different states they were living in, the police, a lot of
Right.
things that I heard, and I was like, oh my gosh. So a lot of it wasn't permitted in some states, and I was like, that's terrible. But I love thinking about all that. I always say I was born too late, always say it. And I don't care, I was born in 61, and most of the music came out, 60, 61, 60, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, but I love the music. And I always say, man, I'm so jealous of the girls I got to hang out with the boys on the street corners.
Let me tell you, Jerry, it was the most romantic thing that you ever did in your life was to sing doo-wop music under the lamppost at night and have the group of people that you love the most surrounding you. I was privileged to be able to do that, and it was just a wonderful experience.
So amazing. Thanks for sharing that. I could picture it. Beautiful. So, producer, why don't we play the first song? And this is one of Alex's favorite songs. He would sing this to us. Here we go, guys.
Well, we were standing on the sidewalk, just admiring the view. And we thought that we would go downtown and find something to do. And we saw this place upon the corner, and it looked real swell. So we opened the door and we went inside. This is what we yell now, pizza. Hey, pizza. Well, I got a chick I really dig. I'm gonna love her all of my life. I'm gonna take her home and marry her and keep her for my wife. And when the people come and ask me the question, I'm gonna tell them why. Cause she stands in the kitchen and makes me all those great big pizza pies. Now, pizza. Hey, pizza. Well, the time went by and we had some kids, and they're the apple of my eye. And they're growing big and strong and tall, and their heads right up to the sky. Now some may wonder why they're so healthy. This is my reply. Cause they've been born and bred and always fed on great big pizza pies. Now, pizza. Hey, pizza. Well, and now I'm getting old, hey brother, and I'm getting ready to die. But there's one request that I must make before I hit the sky. And that request is something no man in his right mind did not deny. Cause when they put me 6 feet under, I'm taking a great big pizza pie. Now, pizza. Hey, pizza pie. Hey, pizza pie.
Before we talk about that incredible song, I have one of your biggest fans that would like to say hello to you. Go ahead, John.
Hello, Norm, your number one fan.
Tell him.
John, you are my number one fan. Absolutely. What a guy.
How you doing, Norm?
I'm doing great. It's so nice to speak to you. I want to tell Jerry that John and I are in constant contact with each other. He is just the most lovely, lovely man, and he's a great fan, a great friend, and I'm so happy to have him.
Oh, John Terlizzi, everybody. Did you hear that from Norman Fox about you?
Yes, he was my first interview, and he waited the 45 minutes
Yep.
till we got it straight, yeah.
So, all right. So say one more last thing to your buddy, and I'm going to let you go, John.
I would love to interview maybe in August. It'll be 2 years.
I mean,
I've been
John,
on,
it would be my
Hamilton
pleasure.
Radio.
I would love to do it anytime you're ready.
All right. So he said yes, yes, yes. And Norm, I'm now his co-host. I help him out with the show, so we'll be doing it all together.
Terrific.
We'll
Great.
plan the August. Okay, John?
Okay.
Everybody.
Take care, Norman. I'll talk to you soon.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Everybody, this is John Terlizzi. He's now part of Hamilton Radio. He's awesome, awesome, awesome. And he is definitely Norman's biggest fan. Love you, John. So, yes. So he called me up. Please, Jerry, let me call and let me say hello to I'm his biggest fan. I said, okay. And Dominic Paradise is also a fan of yours, and he said to please say hello. He's at work. He couldn't call in, but he wants you to know that he loves you.
Absolutely. Thank
And
you, Don.
He was honored as well meeting you at Goodfellas. Yep.
Right.
So, all right. So let's talk about pizza pie. Come on.
Well, pizza pie I've always written songs. I've been lucky enough to be able to write songs. It's an expression that is wonderful for me. But of course, when I was younger, I wrote about, songs and the things that I loved. And one of the things that I loved was pizza pie. I tell a story when I do a show. When I was 6 years old, my dad was an insurance salesman in the Bronx, and he took me to his customers, and had one wonderful family that was a great customers and wonderful people, and the name of them was the Matantis. They had a restaurant, what they called the Gold Star Restaurant. It was somewhere in the Castle Hill area of the Bronx, if you're familiar with it. And so my dad took me there, and that was the first time that I had pizza pie. Well, I didn't write the song at 6 years old, but it certainly stayed in the back of my mind because I've always written about the things that I love, and I love pizza, and that's how it came about.
So, all right, I have to ask you a couple silly questions about it. So when you wrote it, were you giggling the whole time?
No, I was not.
So you weren't giggling, so this was really serious to you.
No, serious. It was
Okay,
serious.
cool. So did you ever think it was going to take off like it did?
No, I had no idea that it would.
Okay.
There's so many people that love it, and the kids really love it. The young kids are my biggest audience in pizza pie. Isn't that a great thing?
Yes. We were outside Papa's Tomato Pies, the oldest tomato pie place in the nation in my town here. And Alex was there, and we were all outside, and he was singing it, and we got a little video of it, and it was just beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. So, and we just giggle. It's so cool,
It's great. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, okay. So, you know what? Let's play our next track, and then you're going to talk about this one.
Sure.
Well, I dropped off my song on my way to a star. I hope you can listen wherever you are. And I sprinkled some magic, and I humbly wanted to say, hello, Pally, today. It was fun while it lasted. We sure had a ball with the guys in the band and the sounds of it all. Man, I just wouldn't trade it, no matter how much it would pay. You're my Pally today. I was a street corner fella. I sang a cappella the songs that would get me the girls. We sang under the streetlights, went on to the footlights of theaters all over the world. We sang songs for the ages and performed them on stages. I made lots of friends on the way. Through good times and bad, happy and sad, I got love I could never repay. I make the blues go away. So come on, everybody, come tag along. Stay by my side and I'll sing you a song. We'll bring back the magic of all of the songs they would play. You're my Pally today. You're my Pally today. the day.
Tell us about that song.
You know, when we lost Larry, um, I never have seen the amazing outpour of emotion from the fans around the world. Larry sang in a lot of different places. He had a lot of different fans in a lot of different places.
Yes.
In addition to that, he had something that I admired very much, which was a personality, and he was so personable with both the entertainers that he sang with and the fans that he was with. Nobody took more pictures than Larry, if I remember correctly, from the shows that I did with him. And I did a lot of shows with him. And he was always there. Larry always showed up, even when he wasn't on the show. He showed up, and that impressed me so much. He was really a great perpetrator of our music and a great ambassador, as I call him, of our music to the world. So when he passed away and I saw this tremendous outpour of emotion from his fans and his friends, I thought that it would be a great subject for a song. And I'm lucky enough to be able to still write music. And I find that a privilege. It was my privilege to do it, and it was a great thing. It was great for me, and I just got a note from a couple of people in Larry's family, just wonderful, heart-wrenching, wonderful note that I will answer later on after the show. So yeah, that's why I wrote it.
Well, first of all, I'm giving you a standing ovation from my seat, okay? I hurt my back, so I can't just jump up. But, you know, Larry meant a lot to so many people. I was actually invited to that last luncheon before he was moving away to be with his family to pass. But I had health issues and I couldn't go. But I loved him so much. And the day I got to meet him was actually on my birthday years ago at a show. And we planned it, and I'll never forget that. So, you know, he's up there smiling. He's smiling down at you. That was so beautiful, Norman. Thank you for sharing that with me so we could play it today.
Thank you.
Amazing. And you're a great songwriter. So,
Thanks.
all right, before we play the next song, I want to ask you something. When you were in school, growing up, in high school, okay, did you get a lot of girls just because of what you were doing? I have to ask.
Jerry, I got to tell you, when it came to girls, I was probably the hungriest guy, but I wasn't very lucky. in love.
Oh,
No, it was great. You know, but I found out, you know, years ago, that I'm a one-woman man.
no. Okay.
So I can only handle one woman at a time. So
That's good.
the volume didn't mean anything
Okay.
to me.
That's good, though. I like that. Okay. Oh, my goodness. Yes. All right. So, all right. So now, producers, let's play our next song.
Dream girl, can't wait to close up my eyes. 'Cause when I do, you're just standing there. I touch your hair and gaze into your eyes. Dream girl, I hate when I see the light. 'Cause when I do, it just means that it's dawn and you'll be gone until another night. Won't you be my dream girl? Make my life a creeping right into my every dream. Oh, dream girl, I know I'm not very smart, but there is one thing I can't conceal. My love is real. You're breaking up my heart. Won't you be my dream girl? I've loved you right from the start.
Okay, Norm, tell us about this song.
It's an interesting song. It was the B-side of Pizza Pie when we recorded for Capitol Records back in 1959, early 1960. And it was supposed to be the B-side. And of course, we got stuck in a situation, a legal situation, when we put it out between Capitol and Backbeat, and the whole record was just on the market for 11 days. In the area, in the world that we live in of the doo-wop revival type of music, Dream Girl has become the song that everybody loves. And rightly so. I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful song. It's actually my favorite song. And I wrote it on the subway. I was taking the A train. I used to go to the Fashion Institute of Technology, and it was on 24th Street and 8th Avenue, and the 8th Avenue line was the A train. And I took the A train, and it was monotonous. And with the train going back and forth on the tracks and the clicking and the rhythm, I fell into something, and I saw this beautiful girl sitting 3 or 4 rows down facing me. And I got the stimulation or the impetus to write this song. And I wrote it in 10 minutes. And then, of course, I went home and I sort of rounded it out and put I sang it for the Rob Roys. They loved it, and that's how it got started, and that's how the song came about.
So that was 1959?
Well, that was probably 1957,
Okay.
1957 in that area.
Okay. So, and it was the B train? What train did you say?
The A train.
A train.
Close.
Okay. So I went to SVA, School of Visual Arts. We had to take the double R train. I lived at my Nana's in Astoria to go to the village back then in 79. So things sure have changed, okay? But I always wondered what it was like in the 50s and 60s, because in the 70s it was still good. 70s and 80s it was still amazing. So let me ask you something. Who influenced you, and other than Larry Chance, I know, who influenced you growing up as a teenager in the music industry?
Well, I used to listen before rock and roll got on my screen, so to speak. I used to listen to Bing Crosby and Frank Sinatra and Perry Como and all of these guys, because we used to watch them on television. My mother loved Perry Como. And so I loved pop music. I loved Frankie Lane. He had something about him that took the music to another level as far as I was concerned. So if I would say anything about rock and roll music, I would say that the bridge for me from pop to rock and roll music was probably Frankie Lane. He had something that sort of transcended it.
So tell everyone a song by Frankie Lane.
It's Frankie Lane. Let me see. It's something with the mule, right? He had a...
Oh, Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Oh my gosh. All right, continue.
All right, and so I was influenced by him. Um, I wasn't so much influenced by Sinatra, but of course, when Alan Freed came on the radio, I was tremendously influenced by Herb Cox, who then, who was my idol at that point in the clef tones, and Speedo and the Cadillacs.
Okay, yeah.
And these guys were all, they were so cool.
They were.
And of course, the Everly brothers, they were so early and they used to do Alan Freed's rock and roll shows. And of course, they influenced me a great deal. And I had the unbelievable privilege of getting into the business in a few years going forward and meeting all of these people
Yes.
I idolized. Herb and I became very good friends, and Speedo was just the greatest. I do a lot of shows with Jimmy Gallagher and the Passions, and all of these guys were just wonderful, wonderful friends of mine, and I'm so lucky to have, first they were my idols, and then I was able to become friendly with them. It was a great thing.
So you answered part of my next question. I always ask my entertainer friends, who have you met that you always wanted to meet in the industry, but who have you not met that you wish you could have met, Norman?
Well, I would have loved to have met Chuck Berry.
Okay.
Because I loved him. He was really a tremendous influence, and I really loved the way he moved around. He had unbelievable rhythm, but I never got a chance to work with him, and I never got a chance to meet him. Who else? I probably met a lot of other people, but he was a major part of what I was doing.
Amazing. So, okay, so now let me ask you this. This might be a harder question. Are there any songs that resonate with you that are in your mind that if you ever hear them, you're like, oh my gosh, one of my faves?
Yeah, I mean, it's so interesting because crazy songs come into my mind at crazy times.
Okay.
I don't know if it happens to you, but I have songs that come into my mind from my youth,
Me too.
and I don't know where the hell they come from, but it's there, and then I start humming them. They all come back. I remember the words to a lot of different things. I mean, if you ask me now, what are the words? I couldn't come up with them.
Okay.
But when I hear the song, I'm able to come up with the words, and it amazes me at this age that I can remember words from 70 years ago.
You can. Do you have a title of any song that you just love? One of your favorites?
Well, the first song that I ever sang was Rags to Riches.
Oh, okay.
And I need to tell you an interesting story.
Sure.
Two famous guys lived in my building in the Bronx when I moved to Riverdale. One of them was Alan Freed.
Okay.
And I got to know Alan Freed very, very peripherally, but I got to know him. I was friendly with his daughter. He lived in the building. And another guy who lived in the building was Tony Bennett.
Oh, come on, baby.
And my mother, who just knew everybody and was so outgoing, introduced me to Tony Bennett. And one of my first songs that I sang was Rags to Riches.
I have a question. How old was Tony about at the time, and how old were you about when you met him?
Well, Tony was in his 90s, early 90s when he died.
Right.
And I'm, so if I was...
About.
Tony had to be in his late 20s.
Oh my gosh, and how old were you?
I was 14.
Okay, that's so ridiculously cool to me, okay? I just love these stories.
And then I have to tell you, I used to play tennis at Tennis Court, which is in Queens, near where you used to live. It was right on the water.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And my friend and I used to play tennis there, and we would argue like hell because we were both blind. And Tony Bennett and Sean Connery were playing on the next court.
No.
They were very, very serious tennis players. And, so they started to complain about us. And then we got off the court and we met and we all had a drink and it was great. But it was a very, very interesting, wonderful experience.
Was that sort of by what I know as the docks?
Yes, it was in Long Island
William
City,
City, the docks.
right on the water.
Yes.
Yeah.
So wait, I have to ask you, this is so cool. I can't wait to tell my brother. So there was tennis courts at the time there?
Right. Tennis Port was the name of it.
Tennis port. Okay. I'll tell you a silly little story. So my dad's family from Italy all came, amazing, incredible people, hard workers, honest people, not related to the mob. My mother's family, on the other hand, American, Italian, okay, yes, in all of her family members, okay, mob related. Well, they had their headquarters at the docks. And my brother and my cousins would always go hang out at the docks, and they never knew how. My parents knew. So they would come home and they'd all get slapped. Stop going to the docks. How do you know this? How do you know this? So, because the uncles would call and say, keep your kids out of here. So when we got older, and my mom and dad were able to tell us, we were cracking up. We're like, oh my gosh, can you imagine that? They were being watched by the mob at the docks. I have to tell my brother, you played tennis there with, oh, that was so cool.
Interesting. Yeah. Great.
Very cool. So, all right. So now we have one more song and then something special also we're going to at the end. But I want to read a poem out of my book first because I love reading this poem when I do entertainers and singers and actors because everybody messages me constantly, Norm, and I'll be getting a lot after this show. And they're all, everybody thinks they have nothing to offer and they wish they could sing like this person or write poetry or write music, whatever it is. And I want everyone out there to know everyone has something to offer, okay? So
Sure.
I wrote this poem so that everybody knows that you do have worth, okay? It's called Utilizing Gifts and Talents. We are born with talents, we are born with drive, with different gifts to help us thrive. I knew early on I was born to draw and paint, to also write poetry, and to talk without restraint. Our gifts and talents should all be used, God's gift to us not be abused. We can go far in life for sure, using our gifts to go on tour, like this guy here. All our talents should be used to create ourselves and more, but then our job's to share them, to even up the score. You see, in life, what's needed is not just for ourselves. Once our gifts are mastered, take them off the shelves. A living we can make by spreading them around, not just for the money, but to spread a peaceful sound. Don't take for granted the gifts you're given. Go out and spread the joy. Our gifts are not to be held back for us to self-destroy. Put your efforts forth. Do not hesitate. All your talents, my friend, are never second rate. Never hold them back or you will surely die. Maybe not in body, but your soul will cry. Our gifts were made to share, our talents made to soar. Go through life enlightened and then you can roar. Be proud of who you are. Be happy you're alive. Once again, my friend, your gifts will help you thrive. By putting efforts forth, not keeping them at bay, your name, Norman Fox, baby, will live forever, forever and a day. So go through life excited for what you sure can give. To yourself and others is our reason to live. Our grave will be quite lonely, but our legacy lives on. So make sure people smile with the breaking dawn. And Norm, that's what you're doing. You're making so many people smile. I can't even tell you, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, when we were all at Goodfellas that day for Alex's tribute, I can't tell you how many calls I got saying, Jerry, I know you're going to be there. I have to go because guess who's going to be there? Norman's going to be there. Norman Fox is going to be, everyone wanted to meet you. So not only was I honored, I said that earlier, but I mean it, that you came and you were there for Alex and his family. Okay, they'll never forget that as well. What state are you in now?
I live in California. I live in Los Angeles.
So you came, he came from LA, okay, to New York for this tribute. And
Alex,
Yes.
you have to do that. And what you said, your poem is just beautiful and very poignant. And it's very much the way I feel. I feel, if I can give, I'm a giver. And I get tremendous joy out of it. And if I make somebody happy in my own little way, it's just everything to me. And I've always told my children that if you can touch one person, it's like touching the world. It doesn't matter about the volume of people that you touch. As long as you're touching someone, it's everything, and it's just incredible.
You're right. You know, I always say music heals. Music, everyone has it in them. If you put a baby, an 8-month-old baby, 6-month-old baby in like a bouncy, you turn the music on, they're going to bounce. They start bouncing. You know, you go into nursing homes. I bring a lot of singers in these nursing homes. These people, I'll never forget this one time, this one man could not lift his head. When that music started and I went over, he pulled my hand to hold my hand and was lifting his head and doing this. It was amazing. So I want to thank you, Norm, of course, and everyone out there listening who does this, because you guys, especially through COVID, I don't want to get into all that, but you guys have saved so many lives. I got messages when I would go out and do the lives during COVID from someone who said, Geri, thank you. I'm in a hospital bed, and I had my nurse fix my phone so I could watch this. You know? So, Norman, the music saves lives, man, and you are part of that legacy, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Well, thank you for having me. It's just a wonderful pleasure to be with you. You're just great.
So, okay, guys, let's play our next song, okay? And then we're going to talk about the song.
Okay.
Tell me why the stars in the sky, they're the same kind of stars that I see in your eyes. I love you, yes I do. Oh, won't you tell me why? Tell me why my heart skips a beat every time that you're near, every time that we meet. I love you, yes I do. Oh, won't you tell me why? Tell me why. Tell me why. I love you so. You know my heart will never let you go. You know my love for you is all blue square. When I wake up in the morning, I want you right there. Whoa, why? Tell me why my heart skips a beat every time that you're near, every time that we meet. I love you, yes I do. Oh, won't you tell me why? Tell me why. Tell me why I love you so. You know my heart will never let you go. You know my love for you is on the square. When I wake up in the morning, I want you right there. Whoa, why? Tell me why my heart skips a beat every time that you're near, every time that we meet. I love you, yes I do. Oh, won't you tell me why? Tell me why. Yeah, do.
Okay, so tell me why, baby. Come on, tell me.
Well, Tell Me Why was the first song that we recorded, and it was written by Buzzy Helfand and myself. And of course, I never got any credit for it because the producer, he took the credit. So for a lot of years, I didn't make any money on it. It was written by us. One of the fellas from Harlem had a friend who had a record store on 145th Street and 3rd Avenue, just under the 3rd Avenue L, if you remember that. And we went down there to audition for this guy, and it was so small we couldn't all get into the store. So we were half in the street, half in the store, and we sang Tell Me Why. He liked what he heard, and he had a friend who was with Backbeat Records, which was a part of the Duke organization in Houston, Texas. And so he called the producer, and he wanted to interview us. So we went back to the record store, same thing. They liked what they heard, and that's how we started with Backbeat Records, and that's how Tell Me Why came about.
Okay, so you didn't get paid.
Yes.
So, all right. The first time I was ever really aware of all this craziness that went on back then, Al Contrara from the Mystics. He wrote that book, The Mystics, The Mob, right? He came live in our studio years ago with his book, and he was talking about how nobody got paid, the mob was involved. You know, I was like, a lot of fans, especially, you know, I'm only 63 now, but I was in my 50s when I met him. I wouldn't know any of this. We all grew up thinking everybody's rich, everybody got paid, they're all famous, right? Everything was up and up. Things were so nice and great back then and fair. Wasn't the case at all.
Not at all. Not at all. And I'll tell you something, I'll even go further than that. So I wouldn't make any more records for these guys because I didn't get any money. So we did get a record contract from Capitol. We had an agent that told us we were
Okay.
free and clear, but we weren't. So I recorded 4 songs for Capitol. So they gave me a nice advance, but that's all I ever got from them. I never received any money after that. Of course, it was only out 11 days. So it sold some records, it made some noise, but it didn't have a chance to go anywhere. Yeah, that was the business at that time. And it's not only me. I speak to a lot of guys,
Yes.
same thing happened.
Yes. So, all right. So, we're not playing this right yet, but we have one more thing we're going to be closing for you. I normally close with my song. We're not doing that. This is special for you today. But we're not doing that yet. I want to give you the mic because I don't want you to get off saying, "Oh, I wanted to talk about this or something that's coming up or anything special that you want to tell everybody." The mic is yours.
Well, I want to thank the fans for this wonderful, wonderful revival that we had and that I have had. I want to thank my fellow entertainers in the doo-wop area who are so wonderful and warm and giving and have contributed so much to the music. And unfortunately, they're expiring at a very fast rate, and we're going to miss them terribly.
Yes.
It's been a wonderful, wonderful period of time for me, especially, you know, in my senior years, because I have a privilege of being in contact with my fans, and I have the luck, God-given luck, to be able to still be stimulated and to write music, which has become my life. So those are the things that are important to me. And your friendship and the friendship of all of the people in the business and my fans are the most wonderful thing that I have had in my senior years. And I want to thank you and all of you out there.
Well, Norm, I'm going to ask you something. I'm putting you on the spot, and you can say, "Jer, I'd rather not," because I know you were coughing a little bit earlier. You do a cappella. Could you give us, like, even, I don't know, 30 seconds or something?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll give you Dream Girl.
Yes, come on, baby. As much as you want.
Dream girl, can't wait to close up my eyes. 'Cause when I do, you're just standing there. I touch your hair, I gaze into your eyes. Won't you be my dream girl? Make my life a delight.
Give your dream girl a hug from me. She waved before, okay?
Yes.
Wow. All right. Wow. Right here on the Geri Petito Show, guys. That's right. You just heard it right here. Norm, do you talk about your age or no?
I don't mind talking about my age. I'm
Come
glad
on.
I got here.
Let's tell everybody, please.
I was 84 on my last birthday.
Okay. So, guys, you just heard this from Norman Fox, 84 years old, who still got it. Still got it, baby. Okay? He's amazing. And he's still writing songs. He wrote that for Larry Chance. I mean, come on. The reason why I wanted you to say your age is so that everybody out there questioning their worth, okay? It doesn't matter how old you are. Age is just a number, please, okay? Look at this inspiring, amazing, incredible legend right here. So, Norman, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for honoring me again. And then we'll do something again with John Terlizzi, okay, in August. But I have another special thing we're going to play to close the show out. We'll play it, and then I'll let you comment, and then we'll close. Okay, producers, here we go. My producers, wait. My one producer's crying. Doc G is crying, okay? And they're loving this whole interview and loving you, and they're giving you the thumbs up and saying hello. And he's crying knowing what he's going to play. Here we go.
Dream girl, can we
Hi, Norm. This is Alex Augustine here. I want to say it was a pleasure working with you as a Rob Roy, restarting the group way back in 1989 with you, Bob Thera, and Leon McLean, doing UGHA Symphony Space, and finally 2 nights at Radio City Music Hall with 19 other acts. A great pleasure. Thank you, and thanks for the memories.
'Cause when I do.
Alex, we love you. Rest in peace, sweetheart. What do you think, Norm?
Well, Alex is a tough act to follow. I miss him. He came back to the group in a period of time when we restarted it. He was very influential in doing so. He was so proud to be a Rob Roy. And when he talks about the shows that he did, and culminating with that Radio City shot, which was incredible, 2 sold-out nights at Radio City with the greatest stars in the music, was just a wonderful experience to be with. I love Alex. I love his family. They are so warm and sweet, and they've taken me in, so I feel like an honorary member. My best to you and everybody.
Thank you, Norm. So, everybody, thank you for watching. Please share this show. We will also be on iHeartRadio, the audio, Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Okay? And again, thank you, Norman Fox. Honey, you made my year. Hugging you and now interviewing you again, you made my year, and I love you. Okay?
We have to do it again.
We're doing it again in August with John Terlizzi. And give your dream girl a hug from me. Mwah! I love you,
Absolutely.
Norm.
Bye-bye. Bye, sweetheart.